Okay, hello everyone. Well, welcome to podcast number 4. Today we have Robert with Coin Ops, me, myself, Joe Durbin, Durbin Auctions. We got Robert with Coin Ops, of course, Alden Davis. He's here from the coop, the chicken coop. We got Brad Karloff, JB, John Brandon Bogue. And then we have Nick's Coins and Papa Soup's going to give us the Benji talk today. So there we have it. Nick and JB, they're going to give us some news. So yeah. And hello everyone in chat. Great to see everybody.
Hi. Thank you for having me. Hi, JB.
Hey, Nick. How are you?
Good. How are you? So
I love the tiara.
Well, thank you. Robert told me I should wear this. I'm thinking I am like the princess of coins or news
I like that.
today.
Yeah.
Thank you. But if there was any doubt that this hobby is going dead, the fun show has shown us otherwise. So that's the first indicator for the year of how sales are going. And I learned today that several dealers have proclaimed that this is the best show they have ever attended. And then one said that they wish they had it more often, like 3 times a year, because then he would take off he would take off for the rest of the year if he had as many sales as he had this year at the fun show. So that's the early indicator. So the hobby is well.
That's a good thing
Indeed.
too, because the hobby is under assault by so many forces. You know, you have people aging out of the hobby. You have not a lot of people aging in to the hobby. That's why with the July coin show at the Sharonville Convention Center, CoinOp is actually sponsoring the young numismatists for that show. And it's going to be a blast. They're going to give, kids a chance to do some searching, do some finding, do some identification, and also do some proper coin storage. So it's vitally important that we keep replenishing the hobby as the hobby ages, not to mention all the geopolitical things that are, with central bank digital currencies and whatnot. People just don't like to use cash or coins anymore. So it's really good to hear that fun show was off the hook. I did hear. Go ahead.
It was, and not only that, they said that the mint is also showing a good indication that the hobby is well because of the mint, sales. So in both old numismatic and new. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, and I did hear that a lot of sports personalities and actors and actresses are sending representatives to places like Great Collections and Heritage Auctions, and they're having them scoop up really high grade, high priced numismatics, not only for their collections, but they also want tangible assets.
Right. So, and that's going to bring a lot of attention to the community quite a bit, because I also was reading auction sales have been showing us too the health of the hobby. So, and that's great as well. We're seeing old collections come up and new collections from 15 years. So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. As we see the higher and higher sales, that means that, it makes it hard on the little collector for sure, but at least it keeps the hobby thriving. And again, there's people out there that more and more as time goes on are looking for those tangible things that they can either hold in a safe or hold in their hand that they know is real and is not only maintaining value, but maybe growing in value. Whereas there's a lot of things, and because of inflation or just the weakening of the dollar, where things are losing their value. Even homes. I just read a report the other day that homes have kind of started to settle back to 20, 30, and 50-year prices because of the high interest rates and nobody's buying.
Rates. That's correct. Yep. So people holding on to their sets, their collections for 15 years and willing to put them up now, it just shows that it's a healthy community right now.
It is. And hopefully it'll get a little healthier if we can get the economy going. And, again, I can't stress enough. if you have grandchildren or nieces or nephews out there, go out and get them a little mint set. Go out and get them, you know, a silver dollar or $50. Get them interested. You don't necessarily have to convert them to the hobby, but you at least could get them interested so that they can be like, oh, you know, next time they're looking at their pocket change, they'll take it a little more seriously or whatnot. But yeah, if you got kids or grandkids or nieces or nephews, it's never a bad idea to start introducing them to our history through coinage.
I'm just glad to know that the community is healthy. People are collecting, people are buying. That was good to hear because, you know, in the community, you seem to hear that it's not as healthy as we think it is. So it's nice to know. And the fun show was a good indication for that.
Well, and the beautiful thing about the hobby is there's so many portions of the hobby that people, even the most experienced of coin collectors, they don't realize. And I'll give you an example. Dustin Morgan, who was the original
Mhm.
founder of CoinUp, did a video one time about 3-cent pieces. They don't have in the higher grades, they don't have a big survivability rate. So therefore, when you find something like a 3-cent piece in a lower or a higher grade,
Mhm.
it actually you can get it kind of cheaper because everybody's focused on Morgan dollars and peace dollars and
Right.
all the, you know, walking liberty
Mhm.
half dollars and the Lincoln cents and all the varieties and errors. So a lot of 2-cent pieces, 3-cent pieces, a lot of these coins get kind of, I don't want to say forgotten, but the attention to them is not there. So if you have a chance to scoop one up at a really great deal and it's got a very low survivability rate, you know, you just increase the value of your collection without even realizing it.
And it's funny you mentioned the Morgans because that's what they said. The trend was the higher grade Morgans at the fun show. People wanted the higher grades. So that's what they found that was on trend.
That's interesting to hear too, because as a Morgan collector myself,
Mhm.
I could tell you it's harder and harder to get the higher grade
Mhm.
Morgans, even a 62 or a
Mhm.
63 at a good price. You know, if you look at some of the auction sites or you talk to some dealers and you look at just a generic, let's say 1880, you know, P Morgan, if you want to get that in a 62 or a 63, oh boy, you're starting to pay way more than you were just 2, 3, 5 years ago.
Right.
You got any other news besides the fun show?
Oh, I- not right now.
Okay. Well, I'll throw you a little
Throw me a
assist.
bone.
Yes, absolutely. So, a couple of podcasts ago, we started talking about the bank term funding program and that coming to an end, why that actually matters to people in the bullion stacking or numismatist hobby, numismatics. It is definitely coming to an end in March, which means banks are not going to get that lifeline from the Federal Reserve anymore.
Right.
How that affects us as collectors and stackers and as society at large or the citizenry at large is if the banks can't have that lifeline of immediate funding, the banks might start looking at some being in trouble.
Yep.
And so we really have to keep our eyes on our banks. Don't forget, everybody, as a member of any bank, doesn't matter if it's a credit union, doesn't matter if it's a regular national bank or a regional bank, if you have if you're a account holder, you can always ask for a health report of the bank and
Yeah.
they have to give it to you.
They do.
They do. They have
My
to.
husband's in banking. Just yes, my husband's in banking. So yes, they do have to give you the status of the health of the bank. Yes.
And everybody should do that. Everybody should request that from their bank, whether they love their bank or whether they think their bank is the greatest bank in the world or not. Just to give you kind of an idea of what's, you know, going
Mhm.
on within your bank, because come March or April, we may start seeing some banks having trouble. And we might get a little repeat of last year where we saw 3 banks, Signature, First Republic, and Silicon Valley, when they started failing, that's what brought on the bank term funding program.
Yes.
So I know that's a little bit of a big picture type thing, but I wanted everybody to know from a bullion
It's a
and
big
numismatic.
picture that could turn into a small picture for us shortly.
Absolutely.
So, and it's something that we all should be aware of.
Yep. So it's definitely
Yep.
coming to an end, and we got to prepare for it.
Yes. And with the presidential elections coming up and with the feds, we don't know what they're going to do. I feel like they're going to raise them. I don't think they're going to be able to pivot anytime soon, but we'll see what they're going to do with the presidential elections coming up.
Yeah, and we'll know by March or April
Yep.
if the Fed is actually going to either reduce, stay the same, or increase rates. But no matter what the Fed does, other than possibly stay the same, if they lower rates or they increase rates, it's going to have dramatic effects on values of everything.
And right now, I'm already starting to hear that they're saying the economy is turning around, that the economy is getting better. And I thought that might happen before the presidential election. So, do your due diligence, check into that, because
it's funny
don't
how
believe everything you hear.
It's funny how right around a presidential election, good jobs reports come out.
Yes.
No talk of recessions. It's kind of curious.
And you don't see shrinkflation in the CPI. So, I mean, there's just a lot of things that you have to look at when you're determining the health of the economy.
Yep. And for some of our viewers, if you don't understand what Nick meant by shrinkflation, I'll give you the best example that somebody gave me. Imagine a bag of Doritos that you buy at the store. Well, usually, or used to be, maybe in that bag, they were 14 to 16 ounces. Well, that same bag now only has about 12 ounces of Doritos, but it's the same price or higher.
Or higher, yes. And in some cases, most cases higher. I mean, even in your gallon ice cream, it's not a gallon anymore. No. So where you're having the costs are going up and you're having to buy more of that product. So, and those numbers are not shown.
No, they're not.
They're showing the stability of our economy. So, and that's become a real big problem. So,
yeah, I mean, everybody at our level that don't have private security and drivers and live in gated communities, everybody at our level knows, hey, things are still kind of expensive out here. So
that's
what is
shrinkflation right there. That's what Liberty has.
That's
shrinkflation.
So we just saw our first example of numismatic shrinkflation. We saw a walking Liberty half flash on the screen.
And yet the prices keep going up.
Yep, that walking Liberty half is probably $35.
So, which makes me wonder: are some of these people that have held these collections for a long time, are they putting them on the auction block because they need the money, or is it because of the health of and the stability of the community?
That's a great question. I will tell you that from what I'm hearing, some people are selling because they have to pay bills and whatnot. Just saw a report yesterday that credit card debt in our country has reached $1.1 trillion.
Yeah, it's high.
That's high. It's the highest it's ever been. So I think some people are selling because they just have to, get by. But I also think a lot of people don't want to sell because while the price of gold is maintaining above the $2,000 level, silver is not. So a lot of people have silver in their collection, whether it be half dollars, quarters, nickels, or quarters and dimes. And they know if they sell now, they're losing just in silver value alone, not to mention numismatic. So yeah. And maybe that's why we're also seeing the higher grade Morgans. Not only do they have, not only is silver cheap right now, but those higher grade Morgans that are still sought after, that's why they're probably selling like hotcakes and for higher prices, because that's when silver doesn't matter, right? That's when
right. With the numismatic value, right? Yes.
And numismatic values, I learned from a very wise man once told me, you might know him. His name is Robert Lawson. A very wise man told me one time, a coin is worth what somebody's willing to pay.
How bad do you want it?
Exactly. It's just our job to make sure that if somebody really, really wants that BU 1959P Lincoln cent, it's our job to make sure that they don't overpay.
So what is the balance on with when silver and the numismatic value? Is there a balance? Is it 50-50, 60-40? What would you say?
I'm going to defer that to Mr. Lawson
Okay.
because I know I will say this: when let's just take a 1880p Morgan dollar, if it's obviously has silver content in it.
Mhm.
If silver goes down, but that 1880p is in such a high grade, the value of it, silver content wise, yeah, I mean it might have went down 30 cents to $1, maybe $2. But if it's such a high grade, it's still going to maintain. So I don't know if it'd be 30 or 40%, but whenever
Mhm.
we maybe one day we can do a video on that with Mr. Lawson about how coin values are affected when spot prices rise and fall. That would
Yeah, I
actually
would
be
be very
something.
interested. I think that would be very interesting, and I think that could help the community as well. I think that'd be a
Yeah,
good topic.
that's a video. I tell you what, I'm going to write that down. You know, how are coin values affected? I'm literally writing this down when spot prices rise and fall,
Yeah.
because I think that if Mr. Lawson did a video on that, because he has such an amazing way of breaking that stuff
Mhm.
down for everybody to understand. Yeah, I think that would be incredible. You know, to hear his perspective on that. Some other news, just to finish up the tail end of our news, we are still looking at multiple conflicts. The United States,
Mhm.
this time last week, we had heard that there might be strikes going on throughout the world. They might be coming. Well, then over the weekend, we had strikes from our military into places like Yemen and Syria and Iraq. So we do have people at war, and everybody knows I'm a retired Marine. So my heart's a little heavy today because we had a Marine Corps helicopter in California go
Yeah.
down.
And
We
thank you
lost.
for your service.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
So we lost some Marines yesterday, 5 of them in training. So even when we're not at war, we still,
They're still
our
training.
service members are still at risk.
Yeah.
So that's about all the news. Well, there's so much more news.
There's so much more, and that's why I printed so much stuff and
Yep.
haven't had time to go through it all. So there is a lot going on in
The
numismatic
last thing
world.
I'll mention as far as numismatic news is the Mint released today in coordination with the Royal Mint, the new Britannia Liberty. And if maybe I could talk to the producers to throw an image up. They are, from the images I have seen, I have not seen one in my hand because they were
I have
just
a
released
picture.
today. You have a picture? They
I
are gorgeous.
Do you like them? I do not like the design. I really do not like the
I
design.
wrestled with it. I wrestled with the
Okay.
design, and you know what did it for me was
What's
when I
that?
rotated the design a few different ways, I
Mhm.
saw kind of the yin and yang of it, and I was like, oh, I
I
get
get
it
it,
now.
but
Yeah,
I don't know. I just think that they could have done a little bit better with the design. I
it
think,
was muddled. It was definitely muddled.
yeah, it was a little bit busy. I'm trying to look through my
Oh,
paperwork.
don't worry. We'll ask the producer at some point.
Okay. Oh,
To,
yes.
throw an image up.
I think they could have done a lot better.
Well, Nick, it was great doing the news with you this week, and I look forward to do it again.
Thank you.
Thank you, JB. Thank you, Nick. Hey, we got Soup. He's going to give us a presentation on Franklin half dollars up next. And thank you again, JB and Nick, for the news and that info. Good talk, you guys. And yeah, let's have a Soup up here, and he's going to learn us about Franklin halves.
I don't stack. Don't have much. I have love for silver if it's got a date on it. I don't care if Yogi Bear's on there. I don't care if Alvin's on there. I like the historical part of coin collecting. And the thing I like so much about Franklin's is when I was young, I did get a great deal of satisfaction watching my dad pull out a pile of change with the old Walking Liberty and Ben Franklin. And I asked him once, I said, why is Ben Franklin on a half dollar? And he didn't really know. So I did a little research and I found out. And after finding out, it was a fairly interesting story. After the Walking Liberty was introduced to the American people, I believe back in 1916, the was a great design, fantastic design. People loved it. I always thought that big eagle on the reverse was a dang dragon. It looked so big. Could hardly tell the face on it, especially on a worn one. But with Franklin coming out in 1948, it was a huge factor for the Congress, because not in the history of Congress was there ever a regular person put on a coin. And I'm talking about Ben Franklin, who wasn't an ordinary person. But the mint director at that time was a fantastic Franklin fanatic. And she decided, well, let's put somebody else on American coin. And Walking Liberty had its run. So they decided, let's give this guy Franklin a shot. So they decided to put him on the obverse and the Liberty Bell on the reverse. And what caused a big hubbub was, well, we got the Liberty Bell on the back or on the reverse. Where are we going to put the eagle, who has been on all the coins? Well, they put this dinky little eagle on Franklin, and people were screaming, well, that's tiny. And also a big thing in that day was John Sinek, who designed the Franklin. His initials were JRS. We were in the middle of starting the Cold War, and his last initials were JS, which most people refer to Joe Stalin. Well, there was a big hubbub. But all in all, the coin got passed through into Congress, and the Franklin coin was born. Now, as far as collecting, the Franklin is a really, really hard coin to collect because of the way it was struck, in my opinion. I know other people are going to have opinions, but this is just mine, folks, so take it as that. I find many of the coins are very, very softly struck, both obverse and reverse. Details aren't fantastically great, and when you do find some good coins, unfortunately, they are full with bag marks. So you have to really, really look. Can you collect them? Sure, you can collect them. They're all over the place. You can get them anywhere. And they're easy to collect. I'm not saying you have to collect the best, brilliant, uncirculated gems. You can have AUs to start with, and you can still build up a very fine collection. And thanks to a guy by the name of Robert Lawson, I found out about varieties. So now instead of just taking my Franklins, checking them for defects, I take and I look at them, and I look at the variety. I look at RPMs. I look at OMMs. I look at everything on a Franklin now. So instead of just having the perfect Franklin, I can have one with a variety. Like I said, folks, they're easy to collect. They're a lot of fun. And I have a fantastic partner who indulges me in this hobby, and she's starting to get into it a little bit herself, and I'm really happy about that. Now, if you'd like, you guys can ask me questions about Franklin. I mean, I just went over the history, and it's all in what you want to collect, guys. You can collect pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, half dollars, anything like that. But it's the fun factor of finding that coin that you never thought you'd find before. You can go through thousands and thousands of coins, especially pennies, and find change for the coin star. But you can also go through 100 coins and find that one diamond in the rough, which will give you more enjoyment than anything else ever will. So, folks, I'm telling you, enjoy your coin collecting. I'm 70. I've enjoyed it so much that I hope to continue to do so until they slam the lid on top of the box, which I hope is not too soon. But if you folks have any questions, I'll try to answer them the best I can. And if I can't, I'll try to find the answer, and you can get a hold of me, and I'll be glad to answer it. So I think
Okay,
that's
Soup,
about it.
thank you. Okay, thank you, Soup. Thank you. Real quick, we'll be bringing everybody back here in just a minute. I want to remind everybody, go back to the test number 3 podcast, and in the chat area, put happy hunting. This is your last chance to get to where you can be entered into the drawing. Where did I put it? I put it somewhere. Okay, the drawing is going to be for a Silver Ike Bicentennial. Oops. A Silver Ike Bicentennial. So go to the last podcast, share it with your friends and everything, buddy, or people, and let them know that it's going to be something that you'll be able to take in. You'll be entered into that contest. Thank you, Soup. Now go ahead and bring the. Oh, by the way, Nick, that's in a penny. I need to get that to you because that is a walking liberty. So, okay, now, if anybody has a question for Soup, ask away. If you have any questions in the chat, you can ask away. I've got one question for you, Soup, and that would be, what is the key, be it the date, the mint mark, or conditional rarity for the series?
I think not so much. Again, I think it's the condition of the coin. I mean, you're going to find some Franklins that are blast white. You're going to find some Franklins that are toned, that are just as good. Dates, anybody can look up the dates and find out, which ones were the least minted and go for that. But in my opinion, you can find a beautiful proof, and yourself, you're going to send that proof in the PCGS or NGC, and you know what you're going to get back. If you get a 65, you're lucky. So if you can find a perfect coin and get a 68, you're shooting the moon.
Okay. Anybody have any questions and or any comments? Feel free. Right now is the time.
Sounds like crickets.
Hey, Sue, what do you think of the Bugs Bunny version?
I think that die clash is marvelous. I mean, you see, I mean, some of them you can see up personal and close, all of them without a loop. And those are the ones I look for. The least amount there they're really, 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 really hard to detect without, and I don't think it gives it the effect as a really, really, really high die clash, like the real bugs. You can see it, or the vampire one. You can tell right away by just taking the coin and looking at the lips that that's bugs.
Exactly.
And Soup, how much silver content is in the Franklin half dollars? And
90%, JB.
Nice. And do you happen to have an idea how much a complete set of BU, not talking full bell lines, but I would love to hear your take on full bell lines, but just a set of BU Franklins from start to finish, you happen to know how much that would be worth?
JB, I'm not really on the concern point of the cost as so much the beauty of the coin itself. I have no interest in, maybe when I slam the lid on the box, other people have to worry about that. I won't have to worry about it. As far as full bell lines, I think that's a bunch of hoke when you look at it. Even the slightest imperfection on those bell lines separating the bell lines will get you no good with NGC and PCGS. If you think you got a full bell line, put it under the scope, take a look. Even the tiniest scratch will dismiss that coin from being FBL.
Well, if you don't mind, guys, I want Brad to answer because I know Brad has a shop, and I think I've seen a Franklin set downtown at that downtown store.
No, we're kind of short on Franklins right now, but you should be able to buy a nice set of Franklins for less than $900.
What year should we be looking for when it comes to the bugs?
Do you want the key or do you want any of them?
Where we
The
would
most-
find the best.
Well, the
looking
most famous one is 1955,
one? Okay.
Yeah,
but they
yeah,
found
yeah.
other years since then, and they don't list them in the regular price guides, but some of them bring a pretty good number. Robert, you can probably answer that the best.
Well, I mean, there's so many. They do have that. The Die Clash also gave us, Nick, just to let you know, it's in the same family because it is from a Die Clash. The one where they've got, I don't know what they actually call it. They call it a booger nose or what, but there's two marks right under the nose. It's not connected to the lip, but it's in that same series. And in the Cherry Pickers Guide, they will reference it right in that same area. In fact, I do want to make mention Amanda Small. If you're out there, thank you so much for that beautiful photograph. She sent me a photograph, guys. 1967. This is a little off, but I got to say it because it's sort of related. A 1967 hot lips or crazy lips, whatever you want to call it, on a Roosevelt dime. Beautiful, strong. You may want to be looking for that, guys. Now, she asked me how much is it valued at. Well, right now, I only know of one. There's no market in one, Amanda. So I just want to let you know there's no market in one. You need a market. That's what I'm telling everybody. So they'll be looking for it because we need to get 20, 30, 40, 50 of them together to where people will start selling them, and then we'll be able to get a market for you. So I wanted to bring that up as far as, that's relatable to the Bugs Bunny. It's very, very similar. So
What year did you say that was?
1967, and it looked as though it was on a business strike. It did not look like an SMS set. It was strictly a business strike, which you guys are going to find out, and Brad can probably concur with me on this. You don't find too many 1967 Roosevelt dimes in business strikes. You find them in SMS.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Robert.
Yes.
Robert Bruce a few minutes ago in the chat section asked about
Can't see
43
it.
steel cents, about whether it's worth getting them graded. There's a whole bag of 43 steel cents. We sell them for a
Yeah.
dime a piece here at the shop. So
How about
Robert's
that?
got, yeah. So no, a 43 steel cent would have to be
I can't do it. Otherwise, I'm
extra
gonna lose a
exceptional.
picture.
Now, a tube, 20 or I'm sorry, 50 BU 43 steel cents. Now you're starting to talk, not keeping them in a Ziploc bag or anything like that.
Well, no, but okay. So when you talk about that, just a second here. Let me grab the handy dandy gray sheet and find the right page, which I can't find anymore because they moved everything. But a 43 BU roll of steel cents, the bid price is $65.
Yeah, she gets smaller.
So, out of a roll, I doubt you're going to find a coin that grades over 66 or 67. So if you really want a 43 steel cent graded, buy it already graded. Let somebody else have wasted their money on the slabbing fee.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got a couple that I bought already graded.
I just had to show a 66, Brad. It was a 43S, but
I saw
No.
it, man.
it was just laying around.
Just
I'm
laying
talking-
around.
Well, wait till I show you this one.
Grumpy,
They're
you
just-
got a lot of stuff laying around.
Well, that's the problem. I do.
Millions of coins and not enough time to sort them.
Ain't
Right.
that you know what? I've taken and Flora can take and she can attest to this. I'm looking for about a $2,000 coin. Okay, it's a top pop on a 1964 Kennedy $half double die reverse. Can't find it. You know what? I bet you any amount of money I have found $5,000 worth of other coins. I had no idea. I forgot I had them.
That doesn't sound like a problem to have.
No, it's not. It's not in that. It's gonna be. Yeah, I'm looking for. I've got actually. I got some of the keys. The person was talking about the 43, and I want to show that person. No, you have to move that out of the way. Yeah, and get me down there. Nick, she's the one. She loves those walking liberties.
I do.
Commenting.
Say.
It won't let me comment on here.
No,
Walking
I-
Liberties, the design is
It's
absolutely
painted.
gorgeous.
It's my favorite. I absolutely love it.
ANX holders.
And the amazing thing about the Walking Liberty is both sides. So
Oh,
Lady
right.
Liberty walking
Yes.
with the flag, and then on the backside, that eagle design on the backside is just
No,
perfect.
it's
And I
gonna be-
can't believe we went from the
Yeah.
walkers to the Benjis. I know
Yep.
that's
I
the
love
topic,
walkers.
but you know.
Walkers are really cool, but I also like the cat post. That's kind of tickles my
Mm.
fancy. I don't know, something about the cat post is a nice one.
Okay, guys. Now for
They're teasing me with all these beautiful walkers.
oh, I ain't done with you yet, Nick. But this here is for Robert Bruce. Okay, Robert Bruce, just to let you know, that there is the 1943 double die number 1 FS 101 and the MS 64. Not bad looking coin. Now this one, next one, I took and right before they changed the designation. This is the 43S double die verse number 1, which in fact now the new designation is still a FS 101, I believe, but it's the 43/2 on the steel cent. Now those two, yes, you would definitely want to get something like that slab, Nick. Just so you know, I haven't
Okay.
thought about you.
Oh,
Now that one there, notice it says missing designers
Mhm.
initials. The designer initials, everybody, is right down here on this and here. I just wanted you to see.
oh, look at that beautiful bird. It's
Oh, it-
beautiful.
She is. This in here is.
It's
Sir, can you-
gorgeous.
Can you tell us how that might have happened? How was it a bad dye or was it too much grease? What's your
They
thoughts on?
polished it. They
polished it.
polished. Yeah,
Polished.
the guy got polished away, sort of like the 2-feather buffalo nickel. That would be the way that I would
Oh,
suggest
it's
that it is.
beautiful.
Now, okay, I'm done there. Put
Brad's got is that an MS? That's an AU 50.
oh, there you go, Nick.
1916S.
Wow.
Wow. Holy
How much?
smokes.
How much?
Wow.
His
Is that
wife,
my is that coming to me, Brad?
How much?
do you have layaway?
You're muted, Brad. Somebody unmute him. Try that again, Brad. Oh, you got to unmute yourself, Brad. You got yourself muted.
I know. I got it. I didn't figure anybody wanted to hear actually what I had to say.
Oh, I do.
When it comes to a 1916 Walker, yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Do you have layaway?
So
Definitely.
I picked that up at the fun show,
Oh,
Just put it somewhere.
and
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
trying
we
to get-
can't do that, or we'll end up being deep shit. I agree with her. Yeah, just put it back in one of the slab holders right here. Fine, I don't care. There.
Are you looking for the value of it, Brad?
I'm trying to hook up with my my internet gray sheet. There we are. That's going to run in the $3,000
wow.
price range since I dropped it on the floor. If I hadn't
we're
dropped
going
it, it would have been
2800.
3,100. But since I dropped it, it's a little
Drop
less.
discount.
Bin,
So
bin, buy
Wow.
it now.
I just
Oh,
thought that would whet someone's appetite for walkers.
yeah.
Should I
Beauty.
expect your check?
I didn't think I've ever seen a 1916D in any other condition other than like very fine. So that was a
Yes.
real treat.
Yeah.
That was an
It was a
S.
beauty. Thank you.
That was
An
cool.
S, not a D.
Correct. Okay, let's see here. I'm wondering, who are we missing, guys? Why do I feel we're missing a person?
It's going to have some value to it. It's going to have cash
Maybe
value.
not.
Now, will it go up in value?
No.
Nobody knows.
Okay.
And if anybody tells you for sure, one way or the other, they're lying to you because nobody knows.
What was you trying to take? Oh, real quick, everybody. Okay,
So,
when?
yeah,
Okay, here's what we're going to do real fast. Okay, we are going to pick the name because I will need somebody possibly to send me information. We're going to pick the name so that you can take and be the winner of this 1976 Type 1 Silver Ike. Now,
And the difference between
not certain how we're going to do this, but I know we're going to take and we got a picker. Can you pull the channel? Okay, we're going to have a picker here, guys. So just one moment. We're going to find out who is the lucky winner. And by the way, we're going to get another name for next week, just so you know. Next week, we will be having my great friend Daniel Malone from Coin Help You. Going to be right here. Nick will be back doing some news for us. So hopefully she'll be a little, I'll give her a little bit more time. She's got a whole time to protect. I don't know if I can pull it though. Okay, pull up the, yeah. Okay, guys, here we go. The correct, this here is going to take in happy hunting. Let's see what we got here. We got 49 comments. So, everybody, here we go. Terry Hunt 6844. Hey, Terry Hunt. If you are out there, I need you to take and get a hold of me. I think I've got your address, Terry. But Terry Hunt, I need you to take, and I will need you to contact me. And we will take it, get you out. We will get you out. This 1976 Silver Ike. This here, like I said, this is the Type 1. It's still in the original container. So we will get that out to you, Terry. So congratulations, Terry Hunt. Now, guys.
Congrats, Terry.
Oh,
Show Brad what Brad's got. The heck?
oh my goodness.
That's a
Oh,
proof
look at
there.
that.
I think I've seen that before.
Oh, that's a beauty.
So that was my first proof walker I bought when I was about 14.
Wow, that's your first one?
Yeah. And I bought it for my typeset back then. I bought a 42 proof set and broke it up for my typeset.
Oh, wow.
See, this is
67.
And recently just got it graded.
I do have
Nice.
Wow.
And so I had that. So I decided I'm going to start, picking up a few proof walkers here and there.
So are you-
Beautiful.
That's a beautiful short set. Nick, you ought to collect proofs. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. There's only 7 of them.
And very low mintage as well.
Yeah. But they're not ridiculously expensive.
They're not.
No. 36
Okay.
is tougher. But so if you really like the design, that's the corner's art of the design.
I do. And then we had the Benji that followed after this beautiful.
Brad, can you speak to that? Can you speak to why proof walking Liberty half dollars they're just not very common?
Well, they're more common than you realize, but the minage in general. So the 36, the minage is 3,901 pieces, and for a coin with 3,900 pieces in proof 65, you can buy a nice one for around $3,000. You know, compare that to some of the numbers that you have with the Morgan dollars you collect, JB. So, you know, I think they're gorgeous coins, and they're not obscenely expensive. And like I say, you know, people ask me a lot of times, you know, what can I collect that I can complete? Well, a Proof Walker set 7 coins. If you buy a couple of coins a year, and you can build a nice set fairly easily. You know, it would be like, you know, Soup putting together a nice BU set of Franklin halves. You can do that. There's 35 coins in the set. And if you go through dealers' inventories and choose really beautiful, white, lustrous coins, and you buy them one at a time, maybe you'll spend $1,000, $1,100 on your set, and you'll have just a gorgeous set.
Yeah.
But more importantly, you'll have the fun of chasing it down. You know,
and that is the fun. That's the fun of it. Yeah.
Right.
Do you recommend, Brad, for a collector that wants to get into the Proof Walking Liberty half dollars, do you recommend that they go after the actual proof sets themselves, or should they be just looking out at coin shops for?
No, anymore. The proof set, the nice proof sets have been broken up. So most of the sets that are remaining have inferior coins in them. It's much easier and cheaper in the long run for the collector to buy already certified coins that match their grade. So pick your grade, whether it's going to be a 4, 5, 6, whatever, and look for coins already certified that will match your quality requirements, because not all 65s are created equal.
Right.
And what's the top?
I agree that the chase of the coin is the fun part.
Yeah.
53 years to put my higher end type set together, and I'll tell you what, it was worth every moment and every
They're
dollar.
all proof conditions, so they all came out of proof sets, but this one came out of silver proof sets.
What's the top pop, Brad, for the Walking Liberty? Or I shouldn't say top pop. What's the highest grade proof Walking Liberty you've ever seen?
Can't find it in
Proof 68.
Wow. What year?
I can't recall seeing a 69. I may have at some point, you know, after being in the business for almost 50 years. And, you know, you see a lot of things that you don't remember.
Okay, everybody, real quick, I want to remind everybody for next week. Oh, I don't think we have a giveaway yet. I'll get you a giveaway, but for next week, at the end of the show, you want to come back here and in the comment section, you're going to want to put in #1 podcast. That'll be for next week's podcast. We'll be drawing a winner for a prize, and I'll tell you what, we're going to go back to everybody else, and I'll show you that prize as soon as I find it. There you go.
Joe had one in his auction I was trying to get last night, but I didn't win.
What did Joe not let you win?
I believe it was the 21P Walker.
Right.
Joe.
To put up a good effort.
I do have it, but you know, now I'm looking to upgrade my coins.
Oh, I wish you hadn't said that word.
Uh-oh. Why?
What is wrong with upgrading?
I don't know what's wrong. More expensive?
Well, in many different ways, but I've always advocated of buying the last coin first. What
What does that mean?
What does that
What does
mean?
that mean?
You buy the coin that you're never going to take out of your set the first time out, because every time you upgrade, you lose money because you have to pay the spread on both ends. You're selling your coin at wholesale and you're buying your new coin at retail. So buy the coin that you're going to be happy with forever. And if you can't find that, don't fill the hole for most parts. But people that buy a coin and then upgrade it, then upgrade it, and then upgrade it, every time they upgrade, you lose some money. So
Depends on who you're reselling it to.
right. But in general, you're
Okay.
just wait, determine what you want to collect. What is my set going to look like at the end? What can I afford to put into my set that stays there forever, and buy that coin? Now, you're going to buy fewer coins. It's going to be longer in between time of buying coins, but when you have them, it's going to be the forever coin. You know, it's kind of like you don't want to get divorced 3 times in your life.
No.
You know, quit divorcing your coins. You know, get the coin that you're going to keep forever. Now, every now and then you buy the forever coin and you find a better forever coin. Now that's
Yes.
okay.
Okay, now I
But-
could see
But
that.
if you're
Yeah.
doing that if you're upgrading as a general rule of thumb, in the long run, that's a losing proposition.
Brad, I got a question on that then. So I imagine that applies to just in general, but for a dealer like yourself who is got a stellar reputation and well established, if somebody buys that coin from you and then they do want to upgrade, how do you approach that, the resale and then the sale of the new coin? Is your spread a little bit lower because you sold the coin?
Yes, but there's still a spread.
And
You know,
I think
think of it-
I think that's important for everybody to understand that when you're out there buying coins, if you get a dealer, A, that you can trust, B, that is going to reduce that spread as much as they possibly can, you know, covering their costs, but also you get a dealer like somebody like Brad or Mr. Lawson or Joe Durbin, you know, when you're buying coins from somebody, the absolute thing you have to have first is trust. And then when it does come time to upgrade or whatnot, you're looking at gentlemen here on this panel that are going to give you the best deal that they can if you bought that coin from them. So just a shameless little plug for this little community that, you know, feel confident when you're buying from people on this panel.
Well, no matter who
Well,
you're buying from, everybody has to make money, and they have to make money on each transaction. No matter what they tell you, they have to make money on each transaction, much like a stock trade. So just know that if you can save your money, be patient, and buy, like I say, the forever coin for your set, that's always the best deal for you.
Well, with me, I've bought probably most of my coins from CoinOp, Joe Durbin, and Daniel. Those are the 3 I know and trust. There's others, but those are my top 3.
I agree, Alden.
I third that. I agree wholeheartedly. I don't buy from too many people out there because when I do buy, my biggest fear in the whole world is buying a counterfeit coin. Luckily it has not happened yet that I know of.
Happened to me.
But yeah, exactly. But that's my biggest fear is buying a fake coin. So that's why I only deal with people like Brad, Robert, Joe Durbin, Daniel Malone. Absolutely.
Yep.
I can't get ripped off. Is that a
And they're
fake?
getting better and better on the fakes.
Yep.
I mean, it's so hard to tell.
Oh, they're getting awesome on the face. I thought
Really?
more a
And
rare
the
Morgan.
Yeah,
And
counterfeited
it
coins.
weighed right. It weighed right. It passed the silver test. It was made of silver, but it wasn't real. And the
Is that
only
a-
reason I know is because I happen to know the reverse of that particular year,
Oh,
and the reverse was wrong.
and the ASEs are the most counterfeited coin.
They make regular fruit sets.
It's ASE.
Here's all right. This is a modern fake that somebody made within the last year or two.
What slab is that? Is that even a?
It's just one of those aftermarket holders that looks like a
Oh,
slab.
okay. Mhm.
And then this is
$10
a
Indian.
$2.50
Oh, 2.5.
that was made in
Oh.
probably in Saudi Arabia in the 1960s. There's a lot of fairly high quality fakes that have been in the marketplace now 50, 60 years.
Wow.
So
Bring me up.
Oh, wow.
There's another piece of gold, Brad. 52D.
I'm not taking that back, Robert.
However, just so that you know, now Brad's going to know this, everybody. You've seen almost every one of these here. Guess where I got these from? Every one of those.
Robert, do you
Every one of
remember the
are fake. Every one of these are fake. Okay, here's the deal, Brad. Just to let you know what I was going to tell you, 90% of those are from Mr. Paul Paget.
Oh,
He gave them to me after that presentation he did at the coin show. Well, that was at the library, if you remember.
sure.
I took in shortly after that. I don't know why, but for some reason or another, I took and I showed interest. I told him I'd like to look at him a little closer, and he took and he said, "You can have them, Robert." He said, "I'm done with them." He said, "I'm never going to sell them." Nothing like, which, just like me, I never am going to sell them. I just use them for educational. I mean, I've got everything: barbers, buffaloes, you name it, walkers.
Best education is to look at them.
Right. I have a book of and a box and of counterfeits that we've accumulated over the years here. When you're in business 50 years, you get a few every now and then, and they accumulate. And again, we use them for educational purposes.
I bet you have some people come in that are very disappointed when they learn that their coins are counterfeited. I bet.
Yes, the 1886 Denver Mint Morgan dollar from Monday night was one of them.
Now, do you have to turn these over to the Secret Service?
No.
No.
You just can't overtly trade in them.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not allowed. Well, I don't know, Brad. You know what? Clear that up.
There's a thin line. Are you trading in them to defraud people? Illegal. If you represent it as a reproduction, and well, for example, I collect contemporary counterfeit bust halves that were made in the 1820s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s to defraud people back then.
Mm-hmm.
A bust half dollar is not a circulating coin now, and people openly trade the contemporary counterfeits without problem. These types of gold pieces can probably be a problem. Mm-hmm. When I sell any of these for gold, I take a screwdriver and scratch them before I sell them, or we'll scratch the back of them terribly and then put them in jewelry.
Okay.
So those are the two things that generally happen to those. Most of them get melted.
Hey, Robert.
Yes.
Do you remember when I was in Cincinnati and you and Joe come over to the hotel and I gave you that, I was going to say that gold piece that was in a consolated capsule.
Yes, sir.
And you thought it may be fake. Thank God it turned out to be real, but you scared me to death.
Well, but I mean, you can ask Brad this now. Like he said, he's been in business for a long time. There are some of them that guys are getting so good. If it even, I mean, I was going a lot by it, just looked a little funny, and I had a bad feeling. And the way they're going,
and there's a lot of fakes, flooding the market now they're finding. So from China, ASE. So we do have to be very careful. They're flooding the market.
Also fake Morgans. Literally a year ago this time, I was in a antique store in Lake Placid, New York, and I walked in. I was just grabbing a coffee. It was right in the coffee shop, and so I saw this little dish of Morgan silver dollars. So I said to the clerk, "Hey, I'd like to look at these." And she goes, "Well, they're for sale." I said, "Yeah, but I want to look at them because I was looking for key dates." So I started looking at them, and one of them, there was no key dates. So I asked her what her prices were, and they were just way overpriced for literally junk Morgan dollars. But one of them didn't look right. And I was like, something's not right. So I called Robert and I sent him the best pictures I could. And he's like, gosh, I wish you could, weigh it because it doesn't look right to me. And I happened to see an old scale. If any of you have ever seen the tipsy scales, I saw an old scale there and I said, hey, do you mind if I weigh this? And so she let me. The weight was completely off on just that one Morgan. So it was a dish of like 18 Morgans, and that one Morgan, the weight was off, the design was off. So I told her, hey, you need to put this aside and tell your boss not to sell it because it's a counterfeit, it's a fake. And I left them my phone number in case they had any questions. The owner actually called me and said, hey, don't tell me what to sell in my store. And I was like, okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Yep. But I tried to tell him he was selling a fake Morgan, and thank God for Mr. Lawson, because I would have, if the price would have been right, I would have scooped up all of them and I would have gotten my first fake.
These, those are all $10 each, and there's, like I said, these are all proofs. Now you can buy ones of these that.
So the fake coins, they are out there.
They are.
And they're getting better at it.
Yes. Yes.
Whether it's Morgans, and if you notice, like, go on Etsy or even on Facebook, on eBay, just look at the designs really, really closely, and then go to like PCGS or NGC and look at those designs, and you'll be able to detect the little nuances and differences. Obviously, you won't be able to weigh it because it's online. So, the best thing you can do when you're buying coins is, again, well, we already established, buy from the right people, but you have to know your designs. You have to protect yourself. And no, Lake Placid was the name of a movie, but there's actually a real Lake Placid, and it's in New York, not Maine. But yeah, it's where the 1980 Winter Olympics were. But yeah, the fakes are out there, and you really got to protect yourselves.
So I can tell you what's not a fake. This coin behind me in my little Super Bowl right there, that is a flip coin that I received from the New England Patriots. That was field used in children's.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yes, I was one of the coin toss coin, and I talked to somebody from Coin World, and because I was looking for a Super Bowl one, but of course we can't get those. So this isn't one of the reproduced, Highland Mint that they reproduce. This one is actually tossed on the field, and the New England Patriots sent that to me this year.
Very
so that's what I was telling you about. Yeah.
My advice as far as fake coins or any coin that you buy is to buy the books. I bought 3 or 4 books, coin books, before I ever bought my first coin. And Robert has taught me, and now I have a full library. And Robert's taught me a lot about that, about doing the studying on the designs, the reverses, the off verses, things like that has really, really helped me. And a lot of times you can spot it if you're familiar with what you're looking for, especially if you're into, like, say, Liberties, or you're into Benjis, or you're into Kappa. Learn those different designs. And that'll help.
It helps looking at the coins. It helps having them in, looking at them, put them under your scope, just really study them. And I think that people that are collectors love them. It's enough to look at them and study them.
Okay, guys, real quick. This is going to be the giveaway for next week's podcast. It's a 1964 proof Kennedy half. No, it's not the accented hair.
Oh, come on, Robert. Quit being so cheap.
Well, hey, I'd be more than happy to come pick it up for you if you'd like to help and add it to the fund there. However, this will be given away. Guys, here's another thing. Pay real close attention. Share this out with all your friends. When we get to where we have 1,000 people in the chat at one time, I'm giving away this gold 1/10 Cougar amp.
Cougar.
Who took me off?
I'll be honest with you, man. Ever since.
Okay, I don't know how we got took it off, but it's going to be for a 1/10 ounce Cougar amp. I'm going to give it away when we get 1,000 people in the chat. So share this with all your friends, everybody. Let everyone know. Come on over to CoinOp to the best chat are the best podcasts out there for coins. So there. Now you can pull us back. There we go. So that's if we get 1,000. And just going to the chat and putting in #1 podcast, you'll be entered into to get this half hour. Guys, it might be a cameo. It looks pretty close. So, and congratulations to Terry Hunt on the giveaway for this week. There. I'm sorry, guys. Hope you understand, but I had to get that out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I knew it was coming up. So BCW sets up.
Frank said he hopes it's not a fake.
Oh no.
It's not a fake, Frank.
Frank, all my fakes are right here. Okay. And the majority of those is from the late Paul Paget. He had taken me and Brad was talking about it. He did a designation. Well, Tiger Stacker, thank you for the super chat. You should have put a question in there. We answer all super chats will be answered at the end. But thank you very much for Tiger Stacker.
Sir, can I go over our rules for super chats?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys and girls, gentlemen, ladies, children of all ages. We have a rule on this podcast about super chats because we don't ever want you to think that we're fishing for them like other channels. If you send a super chat, there needs to be 3 conditions. Condition 1, you have to have your debts paid off. Condition 2, you have to have a little bit of savings. And condition 3, you got to be able to say that you're supporting the channel and your debts are paid off and your bills and all that stuff. We love super chats. We welcome them, but we don't want you to send them unless you are yourself in a good financial position. All right. Just want you to make sure you're good before giving to us.
That was stuff that I have. I got lucky enough that I got back.
Thank you, KB, but you're froze. Don't ask me why.
I can't touch a card.
I don't know why I'm froze either, but maybe that's thank God I'm froze in that place and not a different way.
Exactly.
So Alden mentioned a few minutes ago about his library, and as Robert will attest, that's something I'm passionate about. And I have a numismatic library that consists of hundreds of books and periodicals beyond that, etc. So after the podcast last week, I was motivated to go grab some outdated references or duplicate references I had, especially those that are called cherry pickers guides. So I have a few old editions.
Keep going.
And
Let's see the rest of them.
If anybody,
I'll take them all so far. Keep going. Second edition, I'll take that too.
Who is that talking?
You're going to give me a deal for buying all of them, right? Yep, I'll take them all. Give me them all. Give me a deal on all of them.
Oh, well, but Robert, this was supposed to be for our
what
podcast listeners. So Robert pays double. Everybody else. Everybody else can anyway. If you have any extra voices, I'm at the shop. We're still doing business in the background. I'm sorry for the extra voices. So I have a few things here. If any of the people joining us today are interested in the older cherry pickers guides, they have first refusal. Anything that's left at the end of the day, I'm going to reluctantly let Robert have.
Reluctantly.
Well,
reluctantly, I like that.
Guys, I can tell you right now, I already know. I take every one of them, but if you guys want them, I have no problem with it. I have each and every one of those guys. I was actually going to buy them and use them as giveaways down the road. So either way, it all works out the same. Yeah. I know. Oh, by the way, everybody, they are moving up and moving forward. 2 pieces of information that you guys are going to want to know about, since Brad was showing all this cherry pickers guide. The next edition Okay, volume number 3 is going to be out pretty quick. They're wanting to get back on a schedule, so I'm going to take, and I cannot make no promises yet, but I can tell you right now, I do have some inside information that it's going to start getting worked on pretty quickly. And once it's complete, they are moving directly, and I mean directly, back to the pennies, all the way up to the, I believe, what is it, Brad? The first edition, I think they go up to the, I don't think they go into nickels, but I'm not sure.
I think it goes through nickels, and then the next one starts at half times. But
yeah, I think
you know,
you're right.
as they've grown, because here the second edition here covered everything.
That's the one that I got from from Mark Mendelton. That's the one that he sold me the first time I ever had a cherry picker. I bought it from him. What was that, 1999 for that book? Or 29? I don't know.
91.
No, that was the year. How much did it cost for the book?
Oh, I don't know.
It should be on the back.
$14.95.
There you go. I bought that from him. And guys, that book that he's showing right now, that second edition, I'd be willing to bet with no problem that I have taken and made probably close to $1 million off of that one book. And that's where knowledge becomes king. And me being able to buy those varieties, I mean, you would not believe how many varieties I've bought. Well, Brad sees it, so he knows it. But I mean, we're talking 40 years of me doing, well, since 91, Art One. So you're talking 30 years. I think the most valuable one I've ever found was a coin that I paid. Well, it's worth about, what is it, Brad? $35,000 for that Ike.
Wow.
Yeah, and you cherry picked me for $9 or something.
Oh. Well, I won't tell if you don't tell, okay?
Okay.
But let's see, I'm trying to think the best cherry pick I got from Brad Karloff, because I'll tell you what, guys, and this is legit. Brad is he's a very smart businessman, and every time he knows me, he knows I'm a cherry picker. So for the most part, he looks at everything. But before we really got to know each other much, I would have to say the best cherry pick I got from Brad Karloff, guys, was, hold on.
I may have to shoot myself.
No, actually, it was from your store. It was that coin right there.
Oh, that's
Oh.
I got that from their, that was the, when you guys were still in the mall in Florence. That's where I got that from.
Yeah, we moved over here in 2005, so that was a couple of days ago.
That's where I originally found that coin, everybody, was from Brad Karloff. That's the best cherry pick I ever got from him, in my opinion. So there you go. True
Is
story,
cherry
guys.
picking still a thing, or are people getting smarter and it's harder to find errors in varieties?
Don't
The
take this
answer, Nick, is yes.
Yeah, you can still cherry pick. There's a lot of dealers that don't care. I'll be honest, in my opinion, it's only the smart ones that are paying attention.
Okay.
Because the others, you wouldn't believe. Well, when I went to the coin show last Sunday, to my local coin show, it's the last Sunday of every month. I sat down my first table, and the first table I picked up a 1968 proof set that had the RPM number 2 on the quarter. And my second set that I picked up was a 1963 mint set that had the Philadelphia double die Auvers FS 101 in it. I paid less than gray sheet for both of them, or right at gray sheet. I take that back. I just paid right at gray sheet for both of them, and they're both, I think.
Will you leave those coins in the set, or will you take them out?
One of them, the die pair number 2 was already sold. It was sold in the set, and the quarter, either I sold it last, I think I sold it Monday, and or it's coming up. Yeah, it had to be Monday because I leave them in the set. I don't take them out.
You leave them in the set. Okay. Is it worth
But-
more in the set?
Nope. Put it back. James told me, let's go.
It depends. I mean, now let's be honest. No offense, Brad, don't know much about this, but it depends on. Listen, I respect Brad with. I mean, I give him so much respect; it's pathetic. But some people, I'm going to use soup for an example. Some people like them in the set. Some people like them out of the set. Some people they only want them slabbed. And actually, I'll use Joe Durbin. I can use Old Davis. I can use Brad Karloff. I can use Nick. I can use Soup. It's an individual opinion.
Yeah. I like them out personally.
For me, some of them I like out. Others I like in. And I'll give you one example of what I like it in, and that is this right here, particular one.
Because the 1970 no S.
Correct. The no S dime.
No S dime.
I like that in because so many people, and I hate to say it, but so many people they don't realize it's got to be on a proof. It cannot be on a business strike because all the business strikes that from Philadelphia don't have a mint mark.
Right.
A lot of people, they don't understand the difference. So this one, I like it in, and I think a lot of them. I seen another dealer who is not in this podcast.
Well, if you sent that in for grading, it would have to be in the set, correct? Because that's the only way they could.
They know the difference.
Okay. They will. Okay.
However, he had the 1990 or 91 with a no S penny.
90.
Okay, the 1990 no S penny. He took and he had the set. I said, do not take it out of the set. Leave it in the set. Sell it that way. You'll sell a lot quicker because everybody and their brother is going to guess the grade's going to be what, Brad?
More than it is.
Most likely, they're going to think it's the MS or a proof 70 as opposed to a proof 69. He didn't listen to me, submitted it. It came back a proof 69. I said, I told you. I said, you know what? I said, and he's held it since, and that's been about 2 years ago. I think that
We just sent in 2 95W proof silver eagles for a customer to get them certified, and they're coming back in an 8 and a 9.
Oh wow. An 8, that's a low grade for that particular coin.
It is, but
let's see what was where's all my coins coming back from NGC?
hey, Tony Yanero just wrote in. I'm between Rochester, New York, and Sarasota, Florida. Any recommendations for reputable dealers? Sarasota Rare Coins in Sarasota, Florida. Very, very high recommendation. They're members of the PNG, as I am. Any member of PNG is held to a higher standard than your average dealer, so you can have total confidence there. I don't know anybody personally in the Rochester area, but hope that helps.
Anybody else know of anybody between Rochester, New York, and Sarasota, Florida that would like to make a recommendation? I know that oh god, what's his name? What's that other Lawson that's over there in I think it's Georgia that does varieties too. Ken Lawson, I believe his name is. I'm not certain. Okay.
Amanda asked at Northwest Arkansas. Is there civilization in Northwest Arkansas, Amanda? I'm sorry.
Well, thank you, JT. Okay, well, you can add Brad Karloff and Coins Plus to that. I'll vouch for him.
I'll have to stick with what I know, which is Robert Larson and Joe Durbin.
Like I said, you guys can add Brad. I assure you he will take, and he's very reputable, and I buy from him all the time. Probably buy, oh my goodness, I'd hate to see how much I buy from him. I know.
Acosta just asked you, grading companies grade different for individuals and dealers.
Hold on, Acosta said what? I missed that. Say that again.
I said,
somebody asked,
I'll meet Brad I'll meet Brad next time I come to Cincinnati, which I hope is in July.
Okay.
Now we'll find out what Brad said. So,
Just a few minutes ago,
oh,
I think it's Mr. Acosta asked, do grading companies grade different for individuals and dealers? Not supposed to. They're supposed to be blind grading. So I would say the easy answer to that is no. The hard answer is there are situations where the grading companies know that the items were sent in by dealers and they may subconsciously treat them slightly differently, but overtly no. Amanda, I'm sure it is lovely there. I passed through there a couple of times in my life and agree. Yes, it is lovely, but I don't know any coin dealers in that area. I'm sorry.
Brad, let me ask you a question, which I think will help all of the people here. In general, when I don't care what the city is, just blank, you fill in the blank city, USA. If you was to go and you wanted to go buy from a coin dealer in any city in the United States of America, what would you look for that would make you think that that dealer is going to be fair, reputable, and I know you know a lot more than a lot of people do because you're in the business and you've been that long. But what would be general ideals for people to look for?
I tell people to pick your coin dealer more like you would pick your lawyer or your doctor than your hardware store. Go in, first off, membership in PNG says a lot about who you're dealing with. It's not the easiest thing to do. It's a bit more expensive than anything else, any other organization you would belong to. The requirements are higher. So that would be a first step. But there are plenty of dealers out there who are reputable that are not PNG members. Secondly, if you just talk to them, you'll get a good feeling for how they represent themselves. Do they have a reference library, or do they scoff at that and tell you that they can find out anything they need to know on the internet, which is somewhat right, somewhat wrong. But look around. If they have empty cases, they're only there generally to buy from the public and generally not pay good prices. So if they have a selection of coins, they're willing to talk to you, they're willing to engage with you, let you look at things, answer your questions, allow you to have a good time in their shop, then in all likelihood, it's a pretty good dealer. Ask around to your local collectors, join the local coin club if there is one, check with the American Numismatic Association and see if the dealer is a member or whether they've had any complaints registered about them. So just basically go in and allow them to give a chance to prove themselves that they are worthy of your business. And I think that's probably the best advice I can give there. Nick, were you trying to arrest me in the middle of that?
Oh, no, I was showing Deputy in the chat that I actually have a sergeant's badge, so that I am more of the law than he is, because he was deputized by Joe Durbin.
That thing looks like it's chocolate, Nick. I'm sorry. You can't have a chocolate badge.
Send me a chocolate badge. I need it. Oh, and by the way, Thandair, that sounds really cool. He said that he's got those blank pants that he got for me. He took and he added, I believe he added the 2017 P, which I think that's a beautiful set put together. But thanks, Thandair. I appreciate the compliment.
Well, thanks again.
A couple of minutes ago, Perry Custom Cards asked if I have paper currency in the shop. I do, but not a huge selection. Nice paper is harder to find than nice coins. So just you have to keep looking. But then a few down Jackson Anderson said that he's gone to coin dealers in the Galveston, Houston area, and they won't talk to customers about what coins are worthy to look for. So let me address that a little bit, because I have a lot of people that call me on the phone and think they have found valuable coins in circulation. And that is extremely hard to do. Maybe 1 out of every 25 calls results in somebody actually having something. So those dealers may be worn out by those types of questions. So rather than that, I think, there's only so much free information available before a dealer has to go make a living somehow. So go look at something in their case and talk to them about that, and buy something from them. Even if it's a nominal purchase, that will put you on a footing above and beyond people that just want to ask 37 questions and not do any business. So I can understand the dealers not being 100% happy to answer a bunch of questions, especially about what to look for in pocket change. When somebody asks me that question, I hand them a cherry picker's guide and say, here, buy this, and then go look. And then when you find something that's in the book, come back and talk to me, and that'll make sense.
Or bring your dealer lunch or a treat. That goes a long way too sometimes.
$100 bills are fine. Thanks, Nick.
Well, yes. Well, my dealer liked lunch. So I would take him lunch every once in a while.
Like a cup of coffee and a donut.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like police. Yeah, if it makes the police happy, it'll make a coin dealer happy.
Sandier says, any advice on starting a coin club? Sandier, let me ask you for a little bit of clarification. Are you talking about in the area where you live, or are you referencing more of a coin club online? Because to do it online, I can give you some suggestions there.
As far as a physical coin club in an area, the American Numismatic Association, money.org on your computer would probably have some suggestions in order to help you get started. So I would go there. But if you don't have a local show where you can go and pass out flyers and do things like that, I would look for a suggestion through the ANA. And like I said, that's money.org.
And if we had enough people that wanted to do an online coin club, we could do one, make it private, but then you have to take in, there would have to be a setup for dues, things of that nature, which it wouldn't be a lot. But
Robert, isn't this our online coin club?
You guys are online, but the problem is you're online every time that I'm doing a sale. And that's what I told Dave. I mean, the exact same time. So it's like sort of a conflict of interest for me. Now, if you would like, Brad, I promise you, I know somebody who could hook you up and let you plug in. Got a channel. It would get you there if you want. But you'd have to take care of that, not me. I got to make a living, man.
Soup's collecting the dues. Robert, send him your life membership fee right away.
Okay. I already paid mine.
I've been paying my dues for as long as I've known Robert.
Well, okay, you got it. I mean, hey, what can I say? I don't know what you did in your last life to deserve me. What can I say?
Hey, Joe, you're still hiding in the corner.
Yep. Welcome to the party, Soup.
Let's see here.
Well, now that we got that out of the way.
Yeah, we got about a half an hour, then we're going to get up off here. So if you have questions, I'm telling you right now, the people in this room, I mean, there's a lot of knowledge here. Don't be afraid to ask a question, everybody. And, you know, it's like I've said before, share this out with everyone else because, like, and I'm not kidding, as soon as I find it, we get 1,000 people in the chat, and I will give away this 1/10 ounce gold Cougar Ant, and it's real. I assure you, it is real. Let me put it under a better to where they can see it a little bit better. Go ahead and just leave it there for them. I'll take and I'll change that. No, yes, there. Yeah, that's the one we want. Now I can take in if some of the other people that are in this that's helping, if you guys want to take and if you want to participate and donate something, I'll let you. But there you go, guys. It's a 1/10 ounce Cougar Ant. Like I said, once we get 1,000 people all the way through on the chat, which it will happen, guys. I promise you that. You wait and see. Just share it out. Once you get it to 1,000, we will give away this Cougar Ant. So share it with a friend, everybody. We want to take it. I want to be able to give that away. And I think, and what are we trying to do here? We're just trying to educate everybody out there. Let's see. Hey, Coin Up, if we ever do dollar currencies, I have a lot of it. What do you mean if you ever do dollar currencies?
On the paper money.
Oh. You know what? I had somebody else. I'm not going to go into it, but they was talking about currency as well. I don't know a lot about currency. I'd have to defer a lot of that. Maybe Brad could get that started. Thank you, Frank. Let's see here. What else do we have coming up? Well, like I said, for those of you that are new, a couple things. One, after this show is over, make certain you come back. In the chat, you're going to want to type in #1 podcast. And then next Thursday, which just so everybody knows, I need you to take, and excuse me 1 second, guys. I'll get right back to you when I make. Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, guys, we're going to take, and for next week at the podcast, like I said, the 64 proof Kennedy 90% silver will be the giveaway. All you gotta do is in the chat after we're done, just put in #1 podcast. That's it. And
Robert, answer OC Stacker there about is this on every week?
Okay. OC Stacker, yes, we plan on making this every Thursday at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till 5:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week. Now, will everybody that's here right now be on there? Maybe, maybe not. Everybody, this is a hobby and we're having fun. Somebody may have something else to do. So with that, and I mean, like Soup, he was coming in just to be to give a discussion on Franklin halves. We're going to have other people as guests, which, have you got that yet? Yeah, okay. Guys, next week, here we go. Check this out. On our podcast, okay? Go ahead. On our podcast, we are going to have Daniel Malone from Coin Help You, okay? Daniel Malone, he's been with us. Me and him's been friends for many, many years. And the first time he was ever on YouTube, Dustin Morgan, the late Dustin Morgan, took and interviewed him. And after that, he started his own channel, and the rest is, as they say, is history. But Daniel Malone is going to be the official first person on the podcast for the official podcast opening. So I hope you join us. Tell a bunch of friends and just let everybody know that we're going to have Daniel Malone from Coin Help You is going to be on our first official podcast.
So do you have a name for the podcast?
No, thank you, Nick. I'm glad you had to give me that pain in my ass again.
That was my question, Nick.
Yeah, we got to figure it out, guys.
Three minds think alike.
Right. Well, we were supposed to be doing, we still have a little bit of time. Do you remember any of the names, anybody? Guys, start mentioning names that we need so we can do what do they call it? A poll. We need to do a poll, and we might do 2 of them real quick, okay? So once you see the poll come up, let's start taking in what names do we have. I think the last one that we came up with was, Coin Up, Coin Facts. We have coin op, what was it? Unedited, just different things. So, anybody have any suggestions for the podcast name? If so, pull it up now.
The most
Coin
boring
Op
2 hours
Unlimited.
in numismatics.
Oh goodness.
We can do
I
that.
like Coin Op Unlimited.
That
Well,
sounds
That's a
good.
good one. Motley
Yeah,
Crue.
Coin Op Unlimited. I don't know why. Motley.
Motley Crue.
I like
Somebody
coin
said
op.
that last week. We that's quite apropos, but I think it's been taken.
Oh yes.
Hey, Robert, would you tell Flordelina that someone wrote in a few minutes ago that they want the 2nd edition cherry pickers? Would you have Flordelina send my contact information on to Let's?
Somebody said
It came in at 433.
bearded tweakers. I think that one's for Joe and
Flor, did you
Robert.
find it?
Well, Nick, you're going to have to grow a beard.
I know.
Who was
I don't think I could do that overnight. I have a question for Joe and Brad and Coin Op. What are you guys seeing as far as trends? What are people looking for? Morgans, Walkers, Benjis. What do you see?
I like them all.
I don't know. They all sell.
They all sell.
Yeah.
So at the shop, there kind of is a term, bigger is better.
Uh-huh.
So the larger the coin, the more popular it is in most cases. So Morgans and peace dollars are
Mhm.
extremely popular, followed by most of the half dollars and on down the line, except that Lincoln cents and Indian cents kind of slide in there just because there's something about continuing the first collection you had as a kid.
Mhm.
But we do have a lot of breadth to the amount of the types of coins that we sell. But just to answer your question, generally the bigger the coin, the more popular.
Has the
Well,
mint? Oh, go. I'm
I
sorry.
like the Flying Eagle. I'm sorry, Nick.
Go ahead.
I love the Flying Eagle pennies. It's a very short run, but they're beautiful, beautiful coins.
With the minting the 2021 Morgans, 2023 Morgans, has that brought more attention to the older Morgans?
I think maybe 2021s it did a little bit, but I don't think the 23s did. No.
I wasn't thrilled with the idea when it first came out. There were a few people that were passionate about them, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that the modern Morgans and peace dollars are going to take people back in time.
Right.
I think
right.
people that come into the hobby, one of the first coins they're introduced to is a Morgan dollar.
Mhm.
So I think it's more of the old timers going, oh, here's something new. I
Mhm.
like the look of it because I like the Morgan or the peace dollar. But again, by doing the 2023s, and if they do any more, the mint is again, going back to the well a few too many times.
Right. And then of course they skipped 2022. So it's kind of an odd series where you have like I call it Morgan leap year. Right? Because
It is. So many years ago, I was part of a panel discussion at the ANA for the US Mint. And they were asking, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What should we do? And one of my suggestions many years ago on the commemoratives was to take off all of the restrictions that they had to make a coin for making a commemorative, because they're not circulated. They don't have to be stacked. They don't have to be counted. And lo and behold, 2 decades after that meeting, they come out with the baseball and the moon landing coins that are now different shapes. They came out with a bimetallic piece in the year 2000. But the mint is looking backwards
Mhm.
too much. They
Very-
are
I
they are
agree.
going back and grabbing tried and true designs. Well, those designs at one time were revolutionary.
Mhm.
They were new, they were exciting. So what should the Mint do? The Mint should do new,
And exciting.
revolutionary, exciting pieces. So
Right.
that would still be my suggestion to them is break out of your mold, break out of your past, go do something wonderful. Because if nobody ever does anything new, we're left with the same
All the other
old.
mints are doing something new though, right? It's just our mint that seems like it's stuck in time.
It seems like it in some cases, but if you do look at some of the commemoratives, that they are interesting. But I really think though they need to take off more of the restrictions they have in their design.
Mhm.
The mint's gone to the well way too many times.
Yes, I agree.
And it also appears when you talk about the word coming to mind is series, even though that's not the right word. You have pennies and nickels and dimes and half dollars that have basically remained unchanged. The nickel had a few different changes. Where we do see that visionary thing and looking forward, like Brad is mentioning, is the quarters. We had the America the Beautiful quarters. Now we have the American Women quarters. Well, we had the National Parks, America the Beautiful. Now we have the American Women quarters. So with the quarter, the Mint is doing exactly what Brad is talking about looking forward as far as the design. Obviously, they're reaching back to our past to celebrate influential women of our past, but they're looking forward as far as the types of designs that they're putting on there. If anybody has seen one of the most recent American Women quarters come out, there's nothing on the obverse except for the woman that they're celebrating, and all the wording is on her clothing, her dress. So with the quarter and a little bit with the nickel, we've seen some of those visionary type changes, but whereas the penny and the dime, the half dollar, were just not. And then I just did a survey a couple months ago where the Mint asked me specifically, what old designs would you like to see brought back?
Yeah, I did that survey as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that speaks to exactly what Brad is saying, that the Mint is reaching back. Whereas, there's so many things in our current history that the Mint could, just seize upon.
Yeah.
Now, we have a director of the Mint who doesn't have a strong numismatic background. Her background was HR. I'm sure she's a wonderful lady, and I don't mean any disrespect to her, but she doesn't have a numismatic background. So
name the last director of the Mint that had a numismatic background.
I would love to know who that was.
Maybe Rittenhouse. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that position has become a political appointee position, so it's therefore become
it's a bean counter position. But as long as they do their job about getting the items out, that's fine. Their job is not to be the visionary. They hire artists to be visionaries. Get rid of ODGs and let's move on. Old dead guys for you, Nick.
I don't think the women quarters were that popular. I really didn't care for them. I felt they were political. I felt like it was political, and it was just to check off boxes.
I think
unfortunately, I think in a lot of cases that's a very, very astute observation.
Some of them that had the varieties became really, really popular really quick, but then
the Mint wore out an idea. They did the states, and that was so great. Well, then we'll do the parks. Well, that was okay. Well, then we'll do what are they going to do next? If they do famous cars, maybe they'll do a little bit better. But
American muscle cars or something. But I feel like
wouldn't you like a 64 Corvette on your quarter? Or a goat, or but they just need to find less gimmick,
right,
and more art.
Well, with the state quarters,
I
we all kind of resonated with them. We we liked all of the states. We all could, and they were collectible. I know my grandfather was collecting them. My kid's grandfather was collecting them for them. They're not doing it this time.
I
like
can't
the
tell you how
Lincoln.
many thousands of albums we sold for the state quarter
For the
project.
state quarters, and people were so excited of getting the P and the D and then putting them in that book. I'm not seeing that this time. Not with the women quarters.
My mother,
I-
who thought coin collecting was the stupidest thing in the world,
Mhm.
collected state quarters.
A lot of people that were not into coin collecting started coin collecting with the state quarters, and then they dropped it because nothing else was as exciting. And that's how we all could resonate with it. It's just not one group. We're not picking out groups here. It was everybody.
I don't know how true it is, but I think the Mint, or I read it somewhere, Newsmatic News or Cornwall or something. They said that the state quarter brought in 10 million new collectors.
Yes. I can see
I
that.
don't know if they stayed, but
My mom, she couldn't wait to go to the bank when she knew there was going to be another one released, and she wanted to get that state quarter. So
my mom, my grandpa, my uncles, and
exactly.
I mean, almost everyone I know started getting into anybody here know somebody who did not
And-
get into the quarters as far as
Not
from your
really.
family?
Me?
And
Your family? Nobody in you just said, I thought somebody did.
No, I didn't
No.
collect them.
No, I'm saying somebody in
Hey,
your family or somebody you know.
I did like the Lincoln Cent series. I know there's only 4 different versions, but there was
you
also
don't
actually
recommend.
8 because 4 of them was in zinc and 4 of them was in copper. And I collected both, and I've got several sets of each. But that's something I found very, very
Mhm.
cool. I thought that they kind of went because the scent is, it doesn't change much, and I thought that was a way that the Mint tried to go to that denomination and try
Right
to
down
change
the
it.
top. Sorry.
Well, and the Mint's not helping themselves with when you talk about the designs and what they could do, there's so many things that they could do to celebrate cultural Americana. But one of the things that the Mint's kind of shooting themselves in the foot on is that, let's just be honest, their prices. I
Yes.
wanted to get into that Harriet Tubman series, but I looked at the prices and I was just like, it's not worth it to me. It's not worth it to get involved with that because it's just so darn expensive. When they released, if you go back to 2020, when they released the American Silver Eagle and the American Gold Eagle with the first of ever privy mark, with the V75 privy mark.
Yeah, that was popular.
That was,
Very
and
popular.
and the gold coin, the Silver Eagle sold for relatively what a Silver Eagle sells, but the gold coin, it was a little more expensive. I believe it was $2,400 to $2,600. Well, now that thing is worth $10,000 because only 1,945 of them were made. But other than those two exceptions, whenever the Mint now releases a gold coin or a silver coin, their prices are just so outrageous that you're to the normal collector, it's like, do I really want to, buy that I'm going to go back to the Harriet Tubman, or we could use the Britannia that was released today.
Mhm.
Do you really want to shell out $2,800 for a gold coin when melt or spot is only around 2,000? How do you recoup that $800 if ever? So the 2020 American Gold Eagle with the privy mark, yes, that thing, if you got that at $2,400 or $2,600, it was well worth that, paying the extra price above spot. But now with the Harriet Tubman or the Britannia Liberty, the Jackie Robinson, the any other gold coin that's come out recently, I don't know if you'll ever recoup that I want to say premium. I don't know if that's the right word.
Well, the mintages are so high, and everything the Mint's doing.
Let's forget about precious metal coins for just a minute. what's the one thing the Mint can do to make themselves more consumer friendly? Period.
Besides a better website.
Well,
The
right.
waiting
But
room's pretty great, though.
when should the proof sets come out?
You would think at the beginning of the
When
year.
should proof sets be out? The
Beginning of the
regular
year,
copper
right?
nickel proof sets. They should be the first thing available from the
Oh,
Mint.
yeah. Yeah.
Because when they don't come out until April or May, all the birthdays in January, February, March are forgotten about. They should market birth year sets from day one.
Yep.
It's so ridiculous that you can't buy a proof set until halfway through the year. And then last year, they were out of packaging materials, so they couldn't ship proof sets for 45 days. So, like, basically between Halloween and the week before Christmas, you could not get a proof set from the U.S. Mint.
Wasn't there something as far as on the proof sets that they did last year, a mistake?
They make mistakes almost every year.
Yeah, there was a
On the
I didn't go in
packaging,
specific, but
there
The
was
packaging.
packaging, so they had to redo the packaging.
Yep. I ended up getting the package mailed to me.
Oh, they
saying, "Hey,"
did.
Yep.
So I thought they tried to correct that before they sent out the proof sets.
They may have done that. All I know is I got a package in the mail from the Mint with the new package and said, "Hey, sorry, we made a mistake. Here's your new package."
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
all
they,
right.
they made that's, I believe, yeah. They did that. 2023 proof sets.
But yeah, I mean the Mint, you know, I don't know. It seems to
But-
me like they could do so many different things. Like look at the W quarters. You know,
Yes, I wish they
the
bring that
W
back.
quarters. That if you want to talk about something that got people into the hobby, you know, I still, whenever I get quarters back in change, is it 2019, 2020? Because the first thing I'm looking for is that W Mint
Okay.
mark.
Mhm.
Because we all know, and Brad, you might be able to speak to this being an actual coin dealer. Somebody finds a W quarter, hey, that's a minimum, depending on the condition. That's a minimum of $5, $8, $10.
About $5 right now because ones that you find now are generally circulated. So
Yep.
yeah, but yeah, there's a good idea that maybe should come back, but
Yeah.
you know, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah,
I
and
have a question for Nick.
Mhm.
Being as though this is a male dominated hobby, what improvements or changes do you think the hobby can make to make it more welcoming to women?
Gosh, that's a hard question because I've been very welcomed. I really don't know. I'd have to really think about that. But it's a
Or
good
think about it.
question.
Maybe on a
I will. I'll
future
have to think about that because
cast, we could
yes,
we could
that
talk
would be
about that a
a
little
great
bit.
topic. But you know, I guess it's a lot, you know, depends on their interests. But I found it to be very welcoming in this community, even though it's male dominated. I haven't had any problems, and people are very out to help. So I would really have to think about that.
let's take, and if you don't mind, let's put an open invitation right now for a future date.
Mhm.
Any of the females that are watching this, or I don't care if it's a rerun or anything, leave a comment, let us know, get in contact with CoinOp. And Nick, maybe what we can do
Yeah.
is get all, you know, maybe get a half a dozen, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 women, because I know we have Anna Hutchinson. Oh God,
Mhm.
now you know I have to bring it up.
Diane Durbin.
I was about to say Lady Di, yourself. You got the
Oh,
squirrel.
who did we just have from Arkansas earlier?
Oh yeah, Amanda Shore.
Amanda. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we have Amanda McCarthy. We've got several women that come to
Mhm.
our show, and I know
Yes.
the Durbins. So, if we can get them together, and I mean, we could, if we can get 4 to 6 of them together to where you all can come on and dominate one of the shows.
There you go. And I'll ask around to some of my other friends that are females that are in this community and see what they think as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah, I've seen. I think it was Paula Bloom.
Mhm.
Ida. I mean, you got a bunch of them I see on your
Yep.
podcast. They're taking, get it out there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Sherry Ward.
Yes. So there's more females in the community, I think, than we realize.
Right.
Since the community has gone digital,
Hmm.
I see that there seems to be better acceptance. Over my 50 years in business, I honestly will tell you I've cringed a number of times at how people have been treated at the conventions.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
That kind of like a husband and wife goes to the car dealer to buy the car, and the salesman only talks to the husband, and the husband keeps going, she's buying the car, I'm just along for the ride. And they don't get the idea that, that there's a level of respect here. And I've always thought that a hobby has at least missed a generation, my generation of female collectors. So I don't want to see that continue and be perpetuated if there's a way of kind of making it better. And from my standpoint in my store, it's just respecting everybody that comes in,
Right.
shop until they prove to me that they don't deserve the respect. So, but I really would like a different take on the hobby, and I think that it can do nothing but improve our outlook in the long run on what's going on.
I would love to see a all-female panel for even more than one of our shows. But you got people like Blue Moon B,
That's
and
right. Yeah.
Fuzzy and Nix, and there's so many great ladies out there. And I'd love to hear their opinions and their views. I think it would be really, really cool. So a thumbs up to it.
Well, like I say, we've got a shout out. I just called it out. So, hopefully some of the women out there can get together. And, even if you guys just hook up with Nick, I mean, it's all going to work out the same. But don't forget, guys, at the end of the show, go down to the comment section, put in #1 podcast for next week's drawing. Now, here is a shout out to the Silver Joker. If any of you guys know the Silver Joker, do me a favor. Me and him, we talked one time. Just let him know Robert Lawson with Corn Up. Would love to get him. I would like to have him on this panel. Now, with that being said, Silver Joker does not show his face. Me and him have discussed, and maybe, if I can talk Silver Joker into it, I'd love to get him on, but I'd like for him to take him potentially do it at the Cincinnati Coin Show and have JB and Nick possibly be there and have him reveal himself, show his face on that. But then this is an open invitation to the Silver Joker. He's very knowledgeable about stacking. I think that would be a wonderful addition to this podcast. We need somebody for stacking. And Silver Joker, I've watched you many, many years. You're well-rounded. You're not a fluff, blow up, and everything's going to go to the moon and then, Saturn and the... No, he's very, very level-headed, and I really...
So he has a channel that we can find. Okay.
Yep, Silver Joker. That's the name of the channel.
Okay, Silver
he's
Joker.
got a great channel and a lot of great videos. And what Robert is saying, because I also am a stacker as well as a coin collector. What Robert is saying is absolutely spot on. When he does his videos, his delivery, his mannerisms, the way he speaks, it's just so level and even without being boring.
Mhm.
You know, like he's one of those people that he when he engages in conversation in his videos about silver and gold, mostly silver, obviously, because he's a silver joker. When he engages in conversation, he's so level and good deliverer of information that it's almost like you get kind of mesmerized on how he's delivering that information. So his videos are great. His local coin shop that he goes to, I don't know where he lives, but the gentleman that he interviews, what's that?
I do.
The gentleman
He
that
is
he
in the
interviews.
Cincinnati area, and
Oh,
there's
okay.
a couple
Oh.
of points. He has a couple of strange stuff that he's in at. But he's also been to every one of the greater Cincinnati coin shows. Yes, and you just missed him, baby. He's taken and been to the show. I've met him in person, and you have too. You just don't know it.
Oh, you probably have seen him.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Me and him, in fact, if you go back and look at some of his videos about a month, 2 months ago, he actually has me on one of his videos. I met him at that local coin store that you're talking about, JB. We met and he put my face up and he, he asked me, I said, that's fine. But he put my face up and I told him I wanted to do something to where we do a coin reveal. I said, a face reveal, and I'd like to reveal you. And he said he's into that, he's up for that. So I'd like to do that. But like I said, he is very knowledgeable about stacking. We need that right here. So again, the Silver Joker, this is for you. This is an open invitation to be part of this panel.
Yeah.
Come along. I think you would be a wonderful addition. Hey, I think it would be nothing but a plus for our society. If you guys don't know the Silver Joker, go look him up. You'll find out real quick. Very, very knowledgeable. I enjoy watching and listening.
I can't
second
believe I
that.
met him and didn't know it. Because I'm sorry, Alden. I can't believe I met him and didn't know it because I like I said, because of my stacking passion, I watch his videos all the time.
Yeah, I got to meet him too, and I didn't know who he was. And Robert come behind me. I was hosting the broadcast that day. I was on camera, and I shook his hand and talked to him. No idea who he was. Robert come behind me about 10 minutes later and said, "You knew who that was, don't you?" No. He said, "That was Silver Stacker."
I'll have to watch him.
Oh my God. But
I've never
yeah,
seen
Silver
any of his
Stacker. You've got to check out his channel. He's got
Silver Joker,
great
Silver
channel.
Joker.
Silver Joker. Okay. After we're done here,
Great.
I'm going to go over there and sub and watch a video or two.
Yeah, he's got a great channel. He's a great stacker. I'm not into stacking myself, but I've learned a lot from him. Just
Oh, I am.
watching.
And if he can make it where stacking's not boring, that would be great to listen to.
Yeah,
Everybody
he's
go
cool.
to Silver
Please
Joker
check out
and in
his
his
channel.
comments.
I will. I'll do that. Thank
in
you.
his latest video for the Silver Joker, guys, everybody go to his and in the comments, tell him to go to the test podcast number 4 and listen to the last half hour of the show because his name was being thrown out left and right. Just let him know that. So,
And
guys,
let's go
listen.
sub him if you haven't subbed him. That way, go over there and sub him.
Okay, here's the deal, guys. It's already been 2 hours.
This
I
was
mean, I don't know
fun.
about you guys. Yeah, I'm having so much fun. I don't want to quit, but I do know there's other people. I mean, Brad, he's a very important guy. He probably, hell, I bet the president's probably walked in and out of his store 3 times and he's ignored him.
Oh gosh, I hope somebody's there to hold him up.
I didn't say that.
Oops.
Don't cut us up. There. Come on, guys. We want to stay on YouTube. Brad, you're muted, just in case you didn't notice. But
I noticed.
yeah, if anybody who wants to leave, if you have to go, I understand. We just finished up our 3rd poll. What we're going to do is we're going to take, and like it or not, guys, we're going to put this poll together throughout the top 3 or 4. Oh, you got it up now? Oh, okay. The newest podcast is the 4 of the 4. This here, guys, is the final. Whatever name comes up out of this is the one we're going to use. Personally, I like I like corn up unedited, but that's me. But that's
what I just-
you guys are the one that's gonna take and are gonna pick it. Whatever you guys come up with, the top on this poll is what the name's gonna be for our number one podcast with Daniel Malone. Everybody, don't forget, Coin Help You, Daniel Malone will be here next Thursday, 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yes, guys, we will be here every Thursday, 3:00 p.m. Maybe not the same people, but we will be here. Now, let's OTVO.
So Nick, what you ought to do is do a later podcast after Roberts, and you could call it Nick at Night.
That sounds pretty unique. You know
yeah,
that?
I might get sued,
hard would
but
that be to
that sounds
think
pretty
of?
unique.
But okay, you got your cherry pickers that's on its way. Awesome. You'll be very happy with it. And Brad, I'm not joking. If nobody else buys them, I'll take them. And like I said, I use them for giveaways. I don't care. So yeah, just put them together, bring them to the store tomorrow. I'll pick them up.
I have an engagement tomorrow at 10 o'clock with another video person.
Okay.
Justin Couch is coming in to
Oh,
speak with me for
wow.
a while.
Okay.
So if you could come in a little later than your normal time, it would be great.
I'll come in early. I'd like to see Justin. It's been a while since I've seen Justin. Me and him, we talk quite a bit. Don't worry, I won't interfere with his shit. I know you. Yeah, I mean, me
You
and
might
Justin,
need to drink your coffee.
we knew Justin. Yeah, we knew Justin when he was just an itty bitty kid, and me and Dustin talked about it because he does more than coins. He does all kinds of stuff. It's like, and he's young. It's like, dude, you're gonna make it. You're gonna be 10 times bigger than us. And I had nothing but the best admiration for that young man. I mean, he's bringing in some young kids into the hobby.
Yeah,
And I think
he
that's
is.
great. So,
He's definitely a mover and a shaker.
oh yeah, I think he's been on our channel, and I mean, heck, JB, you probably interviewed him once or twice, didn't you?
Yep, you interviewed him last year and the year before. He always makes time when he stops by the Sharonville show to come on camera and talk about the things he's doing. And his new studio is awesome. So yeah, he always makes time for Coin Op.
Well, oh, okay, guys, there's 43 people in here. Only 22 have voted. Come on, get to voting, or we're going to take, like I say right now, good by Corn Up Unedited is leading. Come on, hit the Corn Up Unedited. We got to get the rest of you guys to vote in the poll, please.
I do have a question while we're waiting on the last round of voting to come in. When you become a stacker or a collector, when you start building that collection, at some point you have to think about inventory management and kind of cataloging your collection. Does anybody on the panel have any advice or recommendations or a program that you use for inventorying your coins in a kind of like a red book fashion, only online, or not online, but on the computer? Anybody got anything like that?
I just do a spreadsheet.
Yeah, I was going to say a spreadsheet and buy 2 safes.
Yep.
I write everything down from what I paid for it, what I think it's worth, to what I sold it for. If I sold it, what I think, everything. I write it all down.
We need to get Mark A as a guest one time, because I'll bet you he could do it. Because I'll tell you what, every time I see him, and anytime he buys and or sells to me, he's got it on a spreadsheet. Now, I believe it's just a simple Excel spreadsheet, but guys, I mean, like Nick just said, I don't care if you just put it in a notebook tablet. I mean, any of that will do. But you want to take I would suggest that you take in data. With me, since I'm a business, everything goes into a folder. I mean, I see my folder's got cash, it's got for checks, and then a lot of them are pretty detailed. Not all of them. Sometimes we get lots, and they're just that way. And then if I want to break them down, I have to, when I get home, that's part of my homework. I know with Brad, when I go to his shops, many a times I'll be sitting there going through his stock to try and find errors for you guys or varieties for you guys, and he's sitting there just doing nothing but book work. There's always book work, guys. So it's just taking the time and just pushing yourself to do that paperwork. It is always necessary.
Soup just wrote in and said
Okay,
he has
well,
a detailed spreadsheet from Microsoft that does just coins.
Oh,
I was just
there
gonna,
you go.
I was just gonna say, I use a spreadsheet and I back it up on a separate hard drive. And just because I'm not a stacker, but just my coin collection itself, I
Mhm.
do each coin, when I bought it, what I gave for it,
Mhm.
condition, if it's a graded coin, like if it's an MS65, I list all that in my spreadsheet. So that's how I do mine, and I update my backup as I add to it.
Sharpie.
Soup, do you know the
I
name of
just
that
take a Sharpie
program?
and write on the coin.
I'm just asking Soup if he knows the name of that Microsoft program.
Yeah,
But
is that Microsoft program on the iCloud? Because I don't want mine over.
I mean, that's
The
what
one
I
I use is called Coin Audit.
Coin Audit.
Okay. Yeah,
I
there you
also
go.
write everything down. If I purchase something from an auction, I write it down at that time because sometimes you forget what you purchase, and if you don't get it in the mail, or you can check on that. So I write everything down at the time of purchase.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's what you have to do. Normally, that's what I say. Like this right here. That's what I wrote on here. I just wrote down what I paid for it, so I know.
Oh yeah, I put it on this. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Well-
I'll put it on. And then when I get back to the house, if I want to clean it up and let's say I'm going to resell it, what I'll do then is I have a code that I can put in there and
Mhm.
put it in a brand new flip. That's why we go through 5,000 staples in a matter of a year with no problem. In fact, that might even be low, but yeah. So I mean, So we've got our code, but I always write it down right away, right on the slab itself. Brad can tell you that because I buy a lot from him, and I just take in whenever whatever price we agree upon. Boom, put it down. Boom, put it down. So okay, anything else, everybody? We're about to hook this up. Looks to me like let's see.
Admit it, Robert. Admit it, Robert. Floor's your backup.
Well, actually, no. I don't want to say that's not true at all. She's about as good with numbers as driving wheelchairs. She'll wreck you in a wheelchair. I promise you.
Oh, no.
So,
Oh, poor Floor.
I love her to death. Don't get me wrong, but man, I'm glad I do my own stuff. But
Tell Floor we have some new world coins she can look at tomorrow.
no doubt. I said, shut up, Brad. I need an extra 15% off if you're going to be selling those damn ugly foreign coins to her. Okay. Yeah, we'll probably see you tomorrow, Brad. Is there anything back from NGC or PCGS? What the hell's their problem?
NGC shipped me something yesterday. I don't know which one it is. I have to wait till I'm in tomorrow to check.
Okay, well, hopefully it'll be something that has my coins in it because I know I got a bunch there. I'm wanting to take. I sent off some stuff. By the way, to everybody out there, I sent some coins off to Great Collections, and I sent off 20 coins to Anex. So there you go. And I really hate sending to Anex anymore. My goodness, they're gonna need to get me some kind of discount, or I'm gonna be not talking so nice about them.
Well, if you send 20 coins, you're probably the largest submitter this month.
I might be. Who knows?
Well, when is
Well,
AI going to
wait.
be grading our coins? Is the next question.
That is
Say
a
that
great
again?
question for Daniel Malone next week because
okay.
he is trying to Daniel's trying to get that into coin grading big time.
Yep.
Oh, you talking about converting over to have a coin grading company?
No, he's just trying to incorporate AI
AI.
into
Oh.
coin grading to get rid of the subjectivity.
And
don't
I,
think it's gonna
I
happen.
think that's going to be a good thing.
I don't think it's
Uh-oh.
gonna happen.
Coin grading is all about subjectivity.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Mm.
I don't think you're gonna have the same, if not more of a problem with AI than you do right now. I mean, that's my opinion, because I mean every AI, I don't care which AI it is, are gonna be subjective to how they were taught, just like a grader is right now.
So the
So
coding, how they're coded.
exactly.
I,
So
Right.
if
I
you,
keep,
well, see, remember, coding though is also for AI what information comes in.
Right.
So
I was
with
going to
that,
say, a computer can only be what you
Be
feed
careful.
into it.
Skynet went live 15 minutes ago.
okay, and that means what?
So we know Robert doesn't watch The Terminator.
Oh, I don't either. I didn't understand that either.
I don't watch
Oh, okay.
TV. Period. Give me a break.
I'm not a
I don't
movie
either, Rob.
person.
Exactly, Adam Jan. You have to upload perimeters. Okay. Once you do that, each individual that whoever codes it, any just one dot in the wrong location or a different location is going to give that AI different results. So I don't think it's going to happen, guys.
I have
I'm
to say
old
goodbye. I'm
school.
late. I'm
Hey,
late going home.
I-
Okay.
Robert, thank
Well,
you, everybody. Nice to meet you. We'll hopefully
Okay,
see
nice
you
to
meet
next
you, brother.
next week.
Nice to see you, buddy.
okay,
Good
sounds good. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Brad. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
As far as AI is concerned, myself, I'm old school. I think you need human eyes, maybe even a little emotion behind it. I'm sorry, but that's just the way I feel about it. I think AI is good for some things, but not a lot.
I don't think it's good for a lot, but I think it could help with the coin grading a little bit.
Well, what would be nice is if if the grading companies, right, if they incorporated AI into their initial screening of a coin, or have some initial standards that the coin passes through AI when it goes to the actual physical grader, the actual human grader. And it could be really quick, just a quick report, right? So let's say, I don't want to speak for the grading companies because I don't know what they do, but let's say a coin comes in, it gets assigned to a grader. They immediately put the coin through an AI screening. AI screening spits out just a quick 2 to 3 sentence report for the grader. That way he has kind of he or she has kind of a semblance of what that coin, what they're going to be looking at, basically just give them a quick brief of the coin. Then all of a sudden the grader gets that and can start looking at that coin. I'm just saying, I think it
Or
might
vice
be
versa. It could be vice versa.
or vice versa. Exactly.
Right? Maybe check behind the graders.
Yes.
I took it. I helped Daniel Malone with that one grading that they were doing. I want to tell you right now, I see tons of flaws. It ain't going to work. I'm sorry. Here's the deal. Think about it like this, okay? And this would be very similar. Grade it. I mean, you guys are looking at a photograph. That's all you can do. That's what AI gets, is a photograph. They cannot hold it like I can.
And that's true. They can't.
They can't move it around to potentially see hairlines. Nothing like that.
You never know, though. They could have a computer where you could, with fingers that could actually do that. You never know.
Well, and maybe they will in time.
In time,
Let
yes.
me say this, okay? If you got a computer that looking at a picture finds a certain little mark or detail, and they list that, automatically the human's going to go to that. They're going to overlook other things because that's what the computer found. I just don't see that. I like humans because they look at everything.
Or help
and they can
us
feel it, touch it, and all that.
as coin collectors, maybe help us with on their phone an app where you can kind of grade it and then decide whether or not you want to send it to PCGS or NGC to have it graded. Because in my opinion, grading is very difficult. It's hard and I'm still, and I try the best I can to learn how to do that. But I'm always off.
It's called knowledge and practice.
Yep.
Yes,
I've
it
learned a
is.
lot from
But
Robert, and I'm not a
noticing
great
the-
grader, but I can get a good idea because I've learned. I've read the
Yes.
books. I've listened to the people that are experts in it, and
Uh-huh.
it's just I'm sorry, like I said, I'm old school.
No, but maybe
That's all
just
I
help
get
us
to
give us
say.
an idea whether or not we should send it in or not.
Yeah,
Because I would have spent a lot of money in my beginning journey if I would have had something that could have said, well, yes, send this in or no. And then have somebody, a person.
no, that's a great point, Nick, because I'll take myself for example. I don't ever send a coin into grading
Mhm.
unless that man right there or right there, unless that man right there, these two men right here,
Mhm.
unless they tell me this coin is worth grading, I will
Right.
never send it because I don't want to waste 30, 40, 50 bucks,
Mhm.
between shipping, gas to get to the post office,
Yep.
and the grading and the slabbing fee. I don't want to waste that money if that coin doesn't even
It's not
remotely
gonna
stand
grade
a
high
chance
enough.
to achieve a good
I
grade.
Real
I
quick,
agree,
guys.
JB.
Daniel Malone, a Coin Help You, is in the house. Hey, Daniel, we've been talking about you, my friend. And I'm telling everybody, you are going to be our first official guest on the #1 podcast for Coin Up. So, Daniel, we will definitely see you next Thursday. And hey, we loving it, man. We're loving it. So we were talking about AI. And guys, it's official now. The name of the Coin Op podcast is going to be Coin Op's Coin Talk. That's what you guys picked. Hey, you guys picked it, not me. So, yeah, Daniel, I will send you a request through StreamYard or whatever the hell this thing's called. But I'll send you a request. But yeah, it'll be at 3 o'clock next Thursday. And Daniel Moore, I got to talk to you, Daniel. I got some information. And actually, I got some information for some of the other people here, but I cannot get it out personal or out in the public yet. However, guys, it's been 2.5 hours. I mean, I don't mind. I can stay, say till about 5:30. I don't know if you guys can hang that long or not, but if you guys got to go, just let us know. That's on you guys.
I'm good. I'm here.
Okay. Oh, coin flip. You said, Lady Spitfire. Get a hold of Nick. Nick, tell him
Yes.
why about
An all-female panel on what would bring more women into the community.
Yes, we want to get a lot of females together and get 4, 5, 6 of them together for the podcast. And Brad brought the question up, what brought you into the hobby?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're seeing a big growth in females in the hobby. You out of here, JB?
Or even
Sorry,
one
y'all,
that
I have
helps
to leave.
you.
Take
Okay,
care.
not a
Bye.
problem, JB. You have a good evening. Love you, brother.
Much
I
love,
think-
everybody.
Thank you. I think also is what has held women back from coming into the community also is I think he wanted to know as well.
Well, right, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, because we discussed about the fact that, really about the only thing that's changed has been the electronics. Now
Mhm.
you can take, and I don't know if it's from feeling more safe because you can do it, at the
Mhm.
leisure of your own house without having, I mean, there's just, but even in the coin
That's
shows,
true.
I'm seeing a lot more women. Joe,
And
would you
maybe it's because of digital, like as you said, because of education. They're they can educate themselves first before they go into a coin store or come onto this panel like this. We're able to educate ourselves a little bit. And
Right.
that gives us a little bit more confidence to be able to come into a group like this and feel like, we can have a conversation.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Joe, you need to get a hold of Lady Di. Tell her to get a hold of Nick so that we can get her
Yeah,
on.
I'll.
We'll get Florida-Lena.
Yeah.
We'll get Florida-Lena to come in on it too. I mean, she's a foreigner. Hey, talk about diversification. Let's get as diversified as we can.
I mean, who doesn't want to collect money?
Well,
I like just the collection of money.
Well, there you go. That's one way to look at it.
Right on.
Yeah, instead of spending it, I like to collect it.
Well, they always say if you're a coin collector, you're never broke.
And that's well.
Okay, don't forget, guys, if you want to be entered into the next giveaway, which is going to be a 90% silver proof Kennedy $50, you got to do is at the end of this podcast, go into the comment section down below and just type in #1 podcast.
Oh,
what you got to do. Don't forget, guys, also share this with all of your friends. Once we get to 1,000 people in the chat at one time, which we'll get there, I'm going to give away this gold 1/10 ounce Cougar Ant. That's for once we get to 1,000 people in the chat, we will get there. I promise you. So
okay, I'm gonna plug a couple of friends. I'm gonna plug a couple of friends of mine. Don't miss Joe Durbin's auctions on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Coin Ops auctions on Monday and Friday. And God bless the Coin Op Mod Squad, because I'll tell you, they do a hell of a job. I'm just lucky to be a part of it.
Well, and don't forget, Nick does a podcast, guys. So go hook up on Nick's if
Tuesday nights.
Yeah,
I didn't know you had one, Nick. I'll have to check you out.
Tuesday at 9.
I'll check it out for sure. Send me a link.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully Freaking Awesome is in here, and if not, somebody else can possibly throw a link up for Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nick's gonna be, if Nick agrees to, guys, she's gonna be here and be a regular. She's got an open invitation. Me and her's talked about it.
Thank you.
Well, I would love for her to do the news.
Yes.
For some of you ladies and or anybody who's.
And my goodness, I don't usually get nervous, but today I was nervous.
See, I told you, Nick, I got nervous my own self that one
time. I'm telling you, and even Joe Durbin up here
I
and
usually get
Alden
that way.
and Coin Up, I'm telling you, I was tongue tied. I got nervous. I got into a rhythm but I'll tell you what, this was the first time I've been really nervous.
Well, it'll go away, and welcome to Coin Up. I mean,
but you guys had such a great chat and all these people, and so first time in a very long time I've ever been nervous talking. And as Joe knows, Nikki talks a lot.
Well, she does.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, Florida-Lena, Alden, Florida-Lena just put a link to Nick.
I just saw it. Yeah.
Okay, so there
Thank
you go.
you.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
guys.
Nick, welcome, and welcome
Thank
to
you,
Coin
Alden.
Op. Welcome to our little world, and God,
Thank
what a
you.
beautiful addition. I thumbs up, and I'm glad. Well, I know everybody's glad to have you.
Thank you.
And don't
very much.
forget,
Thank
guys,
you.
go look for the Silver Joker. Find his last video and tell him he needs to get on the Coin Op Coin Talk podcast. We need him to get there. I mean, he'd be a wonderful, wonderful addition, guys, for that part of the coin community. And here's another thing, everybody. If you have any suggestions, bring it up. Let us know. Put it in the conversations. We do check out the conversation. We listen to what you're writing in the chat. So bring it on. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Somebody needs Joe Durbin. Can you throw a link up to your channel, or Florida-Lena, can you throw up a link to Joe's? Sorry about that. We need to get one for Joe Durbin, Nick, and then if somebody wants to throw one up for Alden, go right on ahead. Ronald Harris says, Nick, you did great. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate that. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Soup, we'll bring you back. We gotta do it another time, but I mean, come on, let's let some other people be guests. Soup, man.
Soup was very good today too, as well, and a lot of great information.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. But you know what,
Mhm.
guys? Now remember that was Soup.
Yep.
Soup was just somebody that's out there. You know, if you have something that you specialize in and you're on the up and up, if you're legit, let us know. Get a hold of me. We need to take it. By the way, you need to get my email address in there for people to get a hold of me and let me know. I'm just saying, you guys need to be able to let me know. That way, there, if you have something that you specialize in, if you want to do a presentation, now Joe did it on the Franklin hats. If you want to do it on, I mean, there's so many series out there. And by the way, guys, everyone's talking about the Mint needs to do blank to make it better. I'm going to tell you what they need to do to make it better, just like George Washington said. Let's get back to the emblematic picture of Lady Liberty and the eagle. We don't need all these dead people. I'm sorry. That is the ugliest, most stupidest thing I have ever seen. I want to go back to what it used to be when, for the first, I guess, 100 years, I believe it was. Yeah, at least the first 100 years, there was no dead people on our coins, and they look so much more beautiful. And as far as I'm concerned, maybe we'll do that on our next podcast, or one of these podcasts. We'll do a poll and we'll find out what your opinion is of it as well. So let's see here. Okay, anybody else? Okay, it's up to you guys if you want to continue on. I've got 5:30 now, and I'm sure I've got things that I've got to get going and get to do. And I also want to talk to a few of these people at the end of this here after we're done. So I think we're going to end this now, unless somebody gives me a damn good reason not to. Okay. Let's see here.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, Alden, thank you. As I say, yeah, if you want to take it, I'll see you guys in the back room when we're done here.
Yeah, I'll hang around.
Okay. Nick, give people a little bit of your information so that they know.
Nick's Coins, Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, guys. Yes. Florida Lena put a link there. I'll see about getting another link and putting it in. I'll see about pinning it after this is over. I'll try and get it pinned. Okay, everybody. And then Joe, if you would, sir.
Sure. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, we do auctions. 2 Central on Mondays and Fridays, 7 Central on Wednesdays. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Nick and Alden.
Thank
Good
you.
time today, guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you guys
We'll
all
get,
for being in here.
yeah, we'll get those. We'll put a pinned at the top on the comments for those 2 channels. Alden, if you want yours pinned, we can put yours as well. Just let us know, and I'll get it pinned for you. So
Okay, we'll do it.
okay. Other than that, guys, for me, tomorrow night at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll have a sale. And then don't forget, next Thursday, 3:00, Daniel Malone, Coin Help You. He's going to be our first official guest on Coin Ops Coin Talk. That's the name of it, everybody. You picked it. So that'll be our first. Yep, that'll be our first official guest. I can't wait. And don't forget, get a hold of Silver Joker. Tell him he needs to take and come on over to Coin Op. And hey, he needs to be part of this panel. He would add so much to it. So without further ado, everybody, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a wonderful evening. Hope to see you tomorrow at 8:00 here on Coin Op for the sale. You take care. Have a wonderful evening. And like I always say, guys, if you happen to be looking at coins, happy hunting. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.